Did you just break your ring? Yep. Knew it. Told you it was fragile.
What's fragile?
It was made out of wood. Koa wood, to be exact.
You're gonna have to go back and get another one.
Yeah. So we need to do the episode thing.
How did we start these?
Episode
Ode 5.
5. That wasn't very together. Yeah, so this is episode 5 after a 6-month hiatus.
It's only 6 months.
I know it feels like a lot of time has passed because a lot occurred. Our last episode was on July 9th. We posted on July 9th, and then grief took over my entire existence starting July 24th. So that's why we didn't do anything, because I couldn't do anything.
You wanna go into what happened?
Yeah. I went home back to Indiana on July 20th, and I was just going to go visit for a couple days because I just felt something in my spirit that I was supposed to go home. And I got home, and my grandpa had started in-home hospice. That was like, I got there on a Tuesday, and he started it on a Monday. And while I was there, I just like really felt like I was supposed to stay longer. So I extended my trip, and I'm glad that I did, because the following Saturday morning, I woke up and my grandmother did not wake up that day. Yeah, and that was really unexpected, because I was there really to kind of say my goodbyes to him, and then I ended up saying my goodbyes to both of them within the same week. And then said my goodbyes to one of my best friends also.
The same day that your grandpa passed.
Yeah. My best friend Vince, Teddy, transitioned on the same day as my grandpa on August 1st. So, yeah, my life became very riddled with grief, and honestly still is. And then, yeah, I stayed there for 3 months and really just sat in the epicenter of my grief. My grandparents were really my parents. They raised me after my mom passed. So, yeah, I mean, every parent I've ever had is no longer here.
It was hard to do podcasting during that time, it sounds.
There were I didn't talk. I really shut down for 3, almost 4 months. I didn't talk to anybody, including Taryn. And I wrote a book instead, for better or worse, but I couldn't speak what I was feeling. So I just started writing it all.
Yep. And I was in a brutal tattoo schedule because I took 2 weeks off when the deaths happened, and then it was just like catching up, working 5 days a week, flying out 1 day a week, 1 day to prep for 5 days, which would just turn into wake up at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning and draw for 6 hours and then draw in between your gaps and tattoo all day. It was pretty intense, and I also learned a lot about what I'll never do when it comes to booking.
I'd say, like, overall, these past 6 months have been very exhausting, but also eye-opening. I don't really feel that I'm out of the exhaustion period of it yet. I'm just navigating daily. It's all different, because then even after I finally came back to North Carolina, I got a call that another one of my friends passed. So I flew home for a couple days, in November to lay him to rest too. So it's like it's been a 6 months full of loss and growth, and yeah, this is where we are now.
Yep. Back into the creative zone, baby.
I'm trying. That's been the hardest part, is getting back into my routines. Because I'm finding that what used to work for me doesn't really work anymore. But I'm back in talk therapy, and that's feeling good. And I'm in the editing process of my book. So my publisher and I have made really great strides with that. So I can't really say that I haven't been creative in this time, but I haven't been operating at a level that I'm accustomed to. So that feels really strange for me.
Yeah. But we're back now. We always knew we'd be back.
Yeah.
You're supposed to start this at the top of the year.
Well, start what at the top of the year?
The podcast. But just so you know, I'm the one who has to edit them and like engineer it and everything.
Yeah, I just show up.
So Corey's been like, weren't we supposed to have a podcast yesterday? Weren't we supposed to film one? It's in your calendar. And I just be like, I'm tired.
Yeah, we were going to release this like at the very top of the year. But I mean, it's still January, so I feel like we're still doing good. We traveled. We took some trips, which was dope. I feel like that really set us up to be ready to even do this. I feel like we needed to start the year in a more beautiful place than what the past year held for us. So we brought in the new year in paradise, and Taryn broke his ring from Hawaii that he got. I broke mine like not long after getting it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I broke mine right when I made the little sound check to find the audio.
Broke it for the pod. Broke it.
I don't know if that's good luck or not. Woo. Woo. We just got some food, and so we both got the hiatus.
I'm slowly starting to feel more normal, but I was sitting real uncomfortable for the past 30 minutes.
I didn't have the energy to go and set up at the desk we've been setting up at. But the good news is this podcast is no longer filmed via GoPro.
Upgrades?
I don't think I ever want to film a podcast via GoPros.
You're going to be real life slumped by the end of this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're just going to keep inching down.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. If you get tattooed at Critter Swamp, you just sit in one of these comfortable chairs.
They hurt your tailbone after about an hour.
Yeah, just don't get a long session.
Because they got a chair that's like $600. Ooh, back to yawning. They got a chair that's like $600 more, and it won't have your tailbone hurt. But, you know, they love to tax. The supplier loves to tax the tattooer.
You're really going to make people catch your yawns again, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's the update for where we've been, why we haven't been, what we've been doing, what we're trying to do. Overall, I'm thankful. I'm grieving and grateful is what I've been saying. If people ask me how I am, exhausted and excited, grieving and grateful, very both and in my existence these days.
We're working on some future goals though, like we're going to be working on our magazine, zine.
Yeah, we got a Black comic coffee zine. It's going to be releasing this year. We're going to be highlighting some Black owned shops, and well, by the time this podcast drops, the secret will be out. But I'll be emceeing a Black and Brown Coffee Symposium in Houston in May. And so we'll have some copies of the zine to take there with us to do that. But we're finally like collaborating and doing creative things together besides just like a podcast. So we're learning how to create together, which I don't know if you feel like this, but I feel like it's more challenging than people would think.
I've just been working on growing as an illustrator, and I feel like I'm ready now. But when I said I want to do it, I don't think I was ready, because when you tattoo, you just have to do one image. And if you do that one image good, everyone's like, oh my God, that's amazing. But when you start becoming an illustrator, you have to just make a lot. And I'm now getting into the place where I can do an illustrator, like a crazy amount of illustration in a day.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, I've always been a person that when I have an idea, I typically just do it by myself because I get real impatient and I know how I operate. So I know that I can, like, bust through it. So it's definitely it's a learning process of, like, working with you in a creative capacity. Because, like, we work well together in business and stuff, but this is the first time that we are, like, piecing together, like, my form of creativity and your form of creativity and meeting, like, in the middle, you know?
Yep.
Are you here to do this podcast or are you here to slouch?
I'm here to do this podcast. Hey, what up, people? I've just been trying to listen to you. See, those first episodes, you could catch me just talk.
You did talk a lot.
Talking.
I feel like I don't know. While it's weird, I keep feeling like I don't have a lot to say, but I know that I have parables inside of me. So I'm going to try to honor that. But do we still want to do, like, the segments we were doing?
Yeah, I'm down. You want to go into the first segment?
Yeah, what's the first segment?
The first segment is shit we don't like.
Well, do you have something?
I felt like we already said it. We don't like all the death that happened.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. I do not. I know that it is the only constant in this existence. But man, I am just tired of grief. Living grief, life grief, death grief, all the grief. I mean, it was like, what, just a couple days ago, I took a shower, washed my hair, twisted my hair, everything. And I sat down on the edge of the bed and I was like, why is existing so hard some days?
And it gets harder the older you get.
It really does.
You think that you really understood it when you were an angsty teenager, and then you hit 25 and you're like, I understood it. And then you hit, like, them 30s. Them 30s hit different.
I don't know. And I feel like, yeah, while I'm in my early 30s, I just feel like life experience, I'm closer to 60.
I know how far. I'm like, I'm
not saying anything.
I got some large projects I want to do, so, like, I know time will help me get there. But
yeah,
32 years has been a lot. I've done a lot in these 32 years, but 60. That's a long time away. I don't even want to know how my worldview is by then.
Yeah, it'll be wild. I mean, I think also something that I don't like that's, like, just part of living and part of being a human is, like, okay, the older we get, the more loss that will occur, like, especially in terms of just, like, death and friendships and everything. It's like, you know, like, Vince was 33. Ty was 26, and that's pretty wild. Like, that's such a short time in the grand scheme of things. But as we get older, like, those moments will continue to happen, and that's a hard reality to come to terms with. And sometimes it makes me want to just, like, duck off and isolate, which I've been isolating a lot lately. And that's something I'm working on in therapy. But it does. It makes you, like, not want to get real close, because grieving, it takes all my energy.
Yeah.
It takes it all. But Yeah, that's the don't like for sure. But it's also it's the both and, like I said earlier.
I don't even know if I should share some I don't like, but we get like 50 viewers per episode.
I
So,
feel like you're so that's the whole point of this, is to be open and transparent.
hey, y'all 50 who made it to the 15 mark, you about to hear my spicy. Oh, I don't like them backstabbers.
Oh,
They
we singing.
smile in your face. Backstabbers. Backstabbers.
Taryn has officially sang on this podcast.
The OJ said it best. Somebody went in one time. This is ADD moment, but one time, one of my clients' boyfriend came in the shop and he was like, "I don't trust Jay-Z. He got a line about how he'll backstab you like OJ," and I was like, "No, that's not what he was saying.
The OJs.
He said, y'all some backstabbers like the OJs."
That just shows that person's age, though.
Yeah, he was like 20, and I had to be like, "Bro, it's a double entendre. You don't get it, man." But yeah, I got to deal with last year. I call it a backstab if you stab me and you get further from having stabbed me. And I learned, and I had so much time to sit in solitude and focus on just me. And the thing that I heard, because I've tried to put it together in these 6 months, is one, I heard somebody say that you have to watch out how people treat those they view as less than them. So, say servers, people younger than them, people not in the place they are at in society. As they said, it's easy to be nice and kind to those who are further than you. But if you're around somebody who you notice that they always talk down to, belittle people they view below them, as soon as that person views themselves as having an advantage over you, they will change to how they've always treated people that they view as beneath them.
Mm-hmm. I was reading this thing the other day that was talking about the difference between nice people and kind people, and like the overall like theme that I took away from it was like, kind people don't care what people think about them or if people talk ill about them, because they've got nothing to stress, you know? Like when you move in kindness, that's one thing. Like that's like, I feel like kindness is way more genuine and niceness can be real surface level.
Yeah, I got to learn that it's okay for me to do this much more than what your average person does. Because I was trying to save the world. And I was trying to save the world with people who don't show up to protests outside of the comment
You were also
section.
trying to save the world without having the means to save yourself.
Oh, I was making sure everyone was taken care of except me.
Exactly.
Like, I thought if I gave away just like anything that I could give, it would make someone else's life better. And then when I'd be down because I helped them, I thought like they'd help me up.
There was no reciprocity in your life.
Reciprocity was a lesson I learned, but I took the time off. We went to Hawaii. I was able to center myself, and I was just gone from social media for a month, and it was just kind of nice living my life and getting into art. So I just pushed myself really into just me focusing on my art, and I was drawing like 8 hours a day, and I was able to get it to those unhealthy places that are just crazy productive. And some people don't like those, but I do love an unhealthy productive
Yeah,
time.
you drew a lot. Like, you created a lot.
I was upset that I could only make one image a day for the first 3 weeks. And I was like, I don't like this. Like, it's going to be a month. I've only made 30 images. This is ridiculous. And then I had some, because I'll push myself to the point I can't. I'm just going and going, and I'm exhausted, and I'll hit a point where my brain just takes over, and my brain's like, we have to create shortcuts because you're a psycho. And then I was able to make 3 drawings in a day starting the 3rd week. But
Yeah, you always like to push your brain to where it hurts. Like,
yeah,
where you're creating, like, past the point of what you thought you could do.
mm-hmm.
So you, like, push yourself into almost, like, a different realm of creativity.
I like it. I like that unknown zone. Because
And I create best from a place of rest. I've learned that about my writing. Like, I truly write the best from a place of rest. And I think it's interesting to me, like, you push yourself really far, and that's where the most growth and, like, what you consider your best work comes from. And I'm the opposite, where, like, my best work comes from me just, like, being still and listening to what's going on within and just kind of letting it flow.
Yeah, I want to be choking, barely breathing, sleep deprived. And those are the places that I think my brain is just like, Eureka.
That's wild. Yeah, I'm literally the opposite. Like, I just like to be in a very comfortable flow.
I was upset that I would have to take breaks to go to the bathroom and eat. I was very upset that I had to stop what I was doing and eat. And it was like, I'm making I'm making food. I'm doing, and it was just like, I'm losing 30 minutes right now because I have to eat. And then I'd be in my flow and I'm trying to stay hydrated. And it was just like, oh my, I have to go to the bathroom. I kept wondering, like, how do you turn this off?
You were just like, you were on a creative bender. That's what you were on.
Yeah, it was just like, how do you turn this off? But I've now got some new methods, because this is going to sound crazy, but like, when you take a month to just create, you realize how your online practices don't suit you. Like,
What do you mean by that?
I would just watch hip hop drama on YouTube. And when you're working for a month on trying to get some breakthroughs, you run out.
You were consuming a lot of, like, what I call trash content. Like, you weren't filling yourself with the same things you wanted to output. And I think that's, like, I don't know, at least for me, like, I got to make sure that I'm filling myself with things I want to see outwardly. And if I'm like, I don't know, that's just.
But now I've found a good place, and I've switched the garbage with just music, lots and lots of music, and I've been digging that because it's like you just create your vibe, and I've been trying to take the visuals out, so it's like let's just only exist in perpetual vibe.
Yeah, I was like, I just see if I can find this little meme thing, because I was thinking, like, you talking about what you were intaking, I'm referring, like, I've been watching a lot of Grey's Anatomy, okay?
Wait, should we switch to what we're currently doing? This sounds like a
Yeah, this is like.
All right, second segment, y'all. Y'all got the first. Second segment, what we're currently working on.
Yeah. So I've been watching a lot of Grey's Anatomy lately, which really is only because it feels like the only thing that's relatable to how my life feels. Lots of traumatic grief happens in Grey's Anatomy. Mind you, I've seen the series multiple times, and I'm still watching, like, when new episodes release. But I also really just love the writing in Grey's, the fact that they've been able to do so much character development and really get you connected to things. That's just the kind of TV that I like. But because of that, it's actually, I realized when I was practicing, doing my writing practice the past couple days, it's helping me write more long form rather than just like poetic form, because I'm like seeing the value in spreading out a narrative in longer form for like a bigger picture. So that's a challenge that I'm giving myself, because the next thing I want to work on is a long form sci-fi novel, and I already like have my premise and I'm doing my research, but I'm not gonna start giving away anything of that until I'm more in the thick of it. But also, I'm very much in the thick of releasing my first book. I'm working with VK Press as my publisher, and Siobhan has been amazing. And so my manuscript is with the editor right now, and we'll be meeting in the next couple weeks to go back and forth on some more stuff, and hopefully it will release early summer of this year.
Early summer.
Yeah.
It's going to be summer parties.
Summer parties.
And by summer parties, we mean isolation and masks.
Yeah, because I ain't out here trying to catch COVID like that.
No, I'm good.
That's part, like, a lot of me can't figure out if my isolation is coming from I don't want to get sick. I know that it's a mixture of I don't want to get sick and also grief. And sometimes I'm not sure which is which.
Yeah.
But what are you working on?
I'm working on events. I had this idea where I just wanted to break away from the tattoo cycle of just being overworked, that I just imagine that's like what a career is supposed to be. And so I really like the idea of just sitting and drawing a concept and drawing money of them, and I kind of like just dropping a day on people and seeing how it's received. And
Literal flash events.
yeah, so I want to do one each month in each location, because for me it's more about getting everyone's insecure, everyone's self-conscious, nobody knows what's happening in this world. And even in tattooing, it's like, look, I've been doing this long enough, and you can just make up what you want. And I want to do more events, and I like drawing them. Right now I'm working on trying to get 10 sketches of... Yesterday I did 10 sketches for this current one, and I'd like to do 10 today. And then, 2 more days, because then I can have my 40.
You probably going to bed after this.
I know. Yes, you are probably accurate. But I just have to find the time. And how we booked this schedule was we booked it where there's time to there's time to rest, there's time to work on projects, and it kind of hasn't felt real because I just got trained into thinking that tattooing is taking... I kind of just realized that it's like when you take a deposit, you're just taking an advance. So if this was like a record label, like any of these artists who are booked out for 2 years, all that means is that they got 2 years of advances. And if they ever wanted to take that time off, they would have to pay all their advance back, right? So you get looped into this cycle. And I was like, I'm going to do custom, but when it comes to an event, you're not really taking an advance. You make it, you share it.
Yeah, it's like right then.
And that's it. And the calendar's open. And so Yeah, I'm currently working on my new theme, but I've been digging, diving into
That was
my
extra.
diving into my Scorpio energy and just allowing things to be mysterious, because I sometimes can feel like I don't want to keep mysteries because I just like sharing things instant.
You like instant gratification too, though.
Instant
That's
gratification.
why you like retail therapy. That's why you like that stuff.
Retail therapy.
Wow, someone's tired.
Yeah, retail therapy is when you don't feel good, but then you go and you find something that you think
You get a temporary fix.
somebody doesn't want you to have,
It's a temporary fix.
and then you go to the cash register and you just pay it. Boom.
No.
Pay right there. And you take it out the bag and you feel good.
Yeah, something else I'm working on is Queen Spirit Inc. is getting back up and running. I had a great strategy meeting today. I'm outsourcing some of the work, and that feels really good because this year I'm really trying to work on, actually, I'm trying to take the whole trying out of my vocabulary. I am working on asking for help because while I can do a lot, that doesn't mean I have to do everything, or it doesn't mean that I should do everything, and that outsourcing, when appropriate, is a great move to make. So Queen Spirit, my nonprofit, will be up and running again with some print publications coming back out this summer, some journals, probably going to pair a journal with my book, and, encourage people to write through their feelings, because that's really all that has saved me in this lifetime thus far.
Yeah, and Corey keeps saying that the dog has to live forever now.
I would really be okay if Prince rocked on forever without any health issues.
He's gonna be the oldest dog ever.
Yeah, but he's not even 2 yet. He's not even 2 yet, so we don't have to go down that road. But like, even so, he recently, Prince, our dog, had a paw injury, and man, that dog costed me so much money in like a week's time, because he had to go to the ER vet, then he had to go to his regular vet. But at the same time, like, I've just been real worried about him, and like, I got a lot of anxiety at his vet appointment that they were gonna like tell me that something was wrong with him, not because he was acting funny or anything, but like, I just realized, like, man, I feel like I've suffered enough loss in this span of 6 months that I need like a pretty good gap before something else happens.
Yeah, I thought I killed. Sorry, inhaling too fast on air. I thought I killed the dog the day that Corey's grandfather and Vince died. It was like, wow. Now life's gonna take another, all in the same day. I made this oil painting of Vince.
Can you see
next to Corey? Maybe they can, maybe they can't.
Yeah, you can see it over my shoulder.
But I was in the zone just painting, and turns out the dog got into one of the oil paints.
Toxic.
And ate the whole tube.
You didn't tell me he ate the whole tube.
Yeah, he ate the whole tube. And I thought, he's going to die. And
Wow.
I remember I grabbed the chewed up foil and I read. And, it said it can cause cancers and all the stuff that I already knew. But when I Googled it, it said that the ways oil paint can mess with you, dogs don't even live that long. It's like oil paint, if you've been doing it 20, 30 years of just constantly going on your skin, yeah, it's going to mess you up. He ain't going to live that long. And then they said that it was going to dye his poop. Was one
Did
of the
it?
side effects. He ate the dark brown one,
Oh, so you can't tell.
we wouldn't even get to
He
know.
would gravitate towards a poop colored one.
It was all over his mouth and his paws, and I had to Google it a lot before I told Corey. But
He didn't tell me it was the whole tube.
Yeah, it was a whole tube of oil, man. It was pretty bad.
Wow. Well, yeah. It's like you form attachments with.
I thought he was gonna die.
With these little critters, and I'm
what
thankful.
Would we have done if we lost the dog that same day? You found out it was because of me?
I really can't think about it because I was really just like barely getting by during that time. So I think, the whole like straw that broke the camel's back saying that probably would have been it for me. Like that would have sent me over the edge.
Well, luckily we did have Prince though. And,
yeah, Prince was a great companion.
He was 50-50, but he grew into being a caregiver.
Yeah, he came through for me.
Because I seen you cry a couple times and him just playing on the other side of the room by himself, rubbing his head into the carpet.
Yeah.
Being like, why don't you play with me? Quit crying, play with me. But he's a better lap dog now. He's
chilling out. He also I don't know, he was better with my emotions when it was just he and I. He didn't have any distractions. But yeah, that's the present. That's the life. That's what we're working on. That's a dog update.
Dog updates.
I don't think we've ever shown Prince on the podcast though. But I feel like anybody that follows us knows because
you just gotta follow Corey.
For a while, my whole Instagram was a Prince fan account. So he also has his own Instagram, but I just don't maintain it because that's a lot of work. I know that there are people that do that. More fun for
when they're puppies.
It is way more fun when they're puppies.
When they're grown, they just look like they don't pay bills and
he definitely don't pay bills. He don't pay rent. He don't. I love him, but wow.
We found out that when we have to send him to stay with people who have dogs, that he is sad to leave the dog family.
Yeah, he really likes spending time with dogs and prefers it. So he's always sad when he's got to leave his dog friends, which every time the people are like, you need to get him a dog. Oh, we need to get the dog a dog. Who gonna pay for it? Not him. But that's fine. That's what people do. We're gonna
get another one day, just not today.
I don't have the energy for a puppy right now, so
maybe we can.
My energy is just like way lower than it's probably ever been in my life, and I'm okay with that. I'm learning and adjusting every day with this new version of myself because I don't know. Sometimes I don't even know who I am, but that's okay. It's grief.
It's okay. We talk it out.
Yeah, lots of talks.
We talk here, but this is short compared to.
Yeah, you gotta have those moments. I feel like that's something we've been doing a lot lately too. Is just having those real vulnerable conversations of just like, this is how I feel, and it's not that like it needs to be fixed, but like you just gotta know.
Also, if it seems like I got less chatty energy, y'all, I started my workout routine.
Yeah, that's what Taryn's working on too. His physique.
It was pretty, because I had to think of how would I want to do this. And the course of the evolution of now I'm just going to get swole was, it was, I've been taking walks. I'll take the dog on walks and I enjoy looking at nature and doing that. But recently did this thing after where I try to take a moment to appreciate the scene and my life and just understand that I'm breathing, I'm here, and this is beautiful. And then I've been ending it with sitting on the porch like an old man and just staring out, just looking over everything, listening to music, just thinking. And I realized I need to add that. And it wasn't realizing that sitting down and doing nothing, just staring out and being like, I was in nature today. Yep. Yep. There's some music playing too.
You're like a cartoon character right now.
I realized that I can start working out because walking, resting, and staring. Now it's time to get big. So I put on my. I'm getting to go through my old catalog of just like early rap music, and it's really fun for me to just work out with no shirt on and just my little bench press type thing, and work on becoming a bigger version of myself while listening to rappers talk about the struggle. It's very fun lifting heavy things while a rapper tells you about how they struggle in their life.
I love that for you.
I was pumping iron to
Oh my God.
Nas Illmatic, and when Life's a Bitch was on, I was just listening to AZ rap. He's like, life's a bitch and then you die. That's why we get high, because you never know when you're going to go. And I'm just like, yeah.
Were you doing it to the beat? Like to the rhythm?
Nah, it's just my own. I don't even care. I'm just listening. I'm like, that's why you got to get big, because you never know when you're going to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I can't chit chat as much as I used to.
Oh, we are so sorry for that. Oh, well, I mean, we about time to go into the last segment. Anyway.
Last segment.
Should we like?
All
right, I'll go first. I'm really stuck on Hawaii and Hawaiian mythology right now. After going there, it is my favorite place that I've ever gone. And I feel like, for me, that says a lot. I've been a lot of places, but like, wow, it was so incredible. Ube everywhere, which like I love ube. I think in one of the first episode I talked about how much I love ube, but I got ube for home, for here, but everything about Hawaii, from like the culture, the weather, I don't know, it was a really impactful trip, and I saw a double rainbow on the very first day of this year. And I felt like that was a promise for all that I've been through in 2021, that, you know, it was worth it. And yeah, so my like is really a love. I love Hawaii. I want to go back.
I too enjoyed Hawaii. Hawaii was because, you know, for me, you know, I don't know if anyone knows this, but like, I'm from Indiana, so I've never been to the West Coast like that, and it was crazy to fly from Indiana because the flights were cheaper for Indiana than they were for North Carolina.
But those flights were long.
It was 5 hours to fly to LA, right? Never even been there. And then it was like 5.5 hours drive to fly over nothing but the ocean. Just water. 5 hours of water. And then we was on an island. And I was like, this ain't America.
It was
how is
dope.
This? I kept being like, how is this America? It doesn't look like anything I've ever seen here.
It's only America because it got colonized.
There was so many foods I've never eaten here. There was so much beach. I didn't even know the earth could look like it looked.
Speaking of food, I also like that you can like just walk up into any 7-Eleven in Hawaii and get literally fresh sushi, fresh whatever you want at a 7-Eleven. That's what I need my life to be.
I didn't understand how anyone would ever want to leave there to come here. They had me calling this shit the mainland pretty early in. I was like,
Yeah, it was like day 2.
I had to go to the mainland.
Yeah.
I was like, mainland sounds shitty.
Yeah, it feels good there. Like, I've really just, I don't know, I felt real connected to everything there. And I mean, I feel like you don't have really an option other than to feel connected. Because, I mean, you're surrounded by water. You're surrounded by, like, really beautiful things. Like, you're surrounded by so much greenery that, like, if you have any honor for, like, nature or your surroundings or anything, I feel like you're going to feel, like, really impacted by it. And there was even one point, like, I was just sitting on the beach and there was this native man that was, like, in the water just, like, speaking and doing these, like, really beautiful hand motions and stuff while he's in the water. I didn't know what he was saying, but it just looked like such a spiritual practice, and that was super inspiring. But there were just so many moments like that, like, and I just feel like that says a lot about Hawaii as a place. And I want to go to the other islands too. We were on Oahu, so we didn't island hop or anything, but I would like to.
We did not island hop, but even the island hop, it was like 45-minute flight to another island, and it's like, that's how long of a flight it is to Chicago from Indiana.
Yeah,
but
it's a different world. It was
a different world. I liked being on the time difference because
yes.
I could just ignore people easier.
Yes, like the fact that it's its own time zone, like there's no other place that's on Hawaiian time zone, like that was amazing to me.
Yeah, it would be like, I'd have to do the math. It was like, all right, it's 3:00 here, so that means it's 8:00 in Indiana.
Yeah, you just be like ducked off.
Yep.
On your own time, and like they're already on island time, just chilling, taking their time.
We did find out, do not start booking appointments in Hawaii.
Yeah, it gets real complicated because when you're putting information into a calendar, it is doing it based off of the time zone that you are in. And then when you leave that time zone,
it adjusts,
and it's all types of messed up. So I had to go in and change every single one that I had scheduled.
Oh, you know something else that I really like?
Yeah.
Necessary for like, well, how much flying I do.
Delta Sky Lounge.
The Sky Lounge.
Yo, the Sky Lounge is where
that's what
it's
saved.
at.
It saved us in LA.
It saved us everywhere.
It saved us at Atlanta too.
It saved us in LA. It saved us in Atlanta.
It saved us in Hawaii as well. It saved us all.
Do not think that you can't get into these Sky Lounges, because you can. You need to. If you got a long layover, worth it. The food is incredible. You're not spending wild money on this airport food that don't even feel good.
Because you don't pay for food when you're in there.
Yeah. You don't pay for the food when you're there.
All that stuff. And they got high-speed internet, and they got chairs you can actually sit in.
They got couches.
And some of them have cool views at the airport. So
yeah,
we've been in the JFK one. We've been in the Arizona.
We were in the Phoenix one, right?
Yeah, the Phoenix one. That was the first one we were in. And then LA, Hawaii, Atlanta. We looked up
Indianapolis.
Oh, it was so bad.
They don't even have a real bathroom.
They don't got no view. They don't got nothing.
It's like a hole in a wall.
And what I mean, like, they don't got no view. You just, all right, so you see, when you at the airport, you got this blue gate, right? And it just opens and closes. And you just see all these, like, bougie business people going in there, right? And I always would be like, what's in there? Like, how do you do this? I became a silver medallion Delta, like whatever the thing is, thinking that like you have to do that to get in there. Wrong. You just pay them like a monthly fee to get in there.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
It's like, oftentimes when I'm in there, I feel like, how am I here? Because like, you get served by people who regular just like me, but you also see these bad acting kids.
Yeah, that I don't understand. But
rich
overall,
kids in
like,
Delta, oof.
The food's better. The food is like A+.
That's how we fed ourselves. You can get like vegetables and fruits, and
you can get salmon. You can get this real good like bisque soup. Okay,
They've had the
honestly,
tomato soup in each of them.
Hawaii's Sky Lounge was my favorite though because of the things that they offered. Like they offered like shrimp cocktail. They also had the little mochi in the freezer. You could take as many as you wanted of them. They had the guava juice. Just like the things that they were serving were top tier for me. But they always have like fruit infused water. They always have like an espresso machine. The Sky Lounge has everything that you could possibly need.
And chairs that you can lay down in, because the thing is, you go to the, and I've flown a lot at this point now. And the problem with the airport, you go there, like when you fly a lot, when you just do it occasionally, it doesn't matter. But like when you fly a lot, the chairs are meant to be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. When you have a delay, because we had a delay.
We had like 5 hours.
We had a 5-hour delay, and it was easier to just go back to the Sky Lounge than be around that lady having the meltdown.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on in the airport. It's nice to just be able to duck off and be comfortable. And all that being said, I just want it known that black people deserve luxury.
Look, I'm just always happy all the black people I see in there, because I be looking and I see so many cool black folks just
as it should
enjoying their life.
But also, even if you don't fly Delta, they have Sky Lounges for like every airline. So
they do.
Yeah.
I can't find them. I just find
we passed
Delta.
A bunch of them, especially
in
Atlanta.
Hawaii though.
No, I don't know about Hawaii, but in Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they have Sky Lounges for like every airline. I don't know what those are like, but Delta, top tier. Big fan. Maybe one day they'll sponsor us.
Can I give a shout out just in case they're listening, but I don't think they are?
Sure.
All right. So shout out to the barista at the Starbucks in the F terminal of the Atlanta airport by the Sky Lounge, because I needed to go and pick up Corey some cold brew. And,
did this barista make it?
Yo, maybe.
Because that coffee was terrible.
One of the baristas on everybody in line would just go, after you, they'd be like, what do you want? And after you'd say, they would go, I didn't hear a word you said. And they did this to the whole line. So I was like 15 deep, and I was like, this is so funny. They've been doing this to everybody, and then the people would have to get uncomfortably loud, and they'd be like, okay. And so then it was my turn, and I spoke up. I was like, say what I want. And then they put their ear like further out and was like, I ain't hear what you said. I think they could hear everybody. They just love to see.
Hard. It's hard to hear with a mask.
I don't know.
People be doing a lot.
Everybody else could hear, but I was like, I think that's how this person gets through shifts.
Well, shout out to getting through.
Get through them shifts.
However you got to make it through.
But if you watching, that was a good one. I like that. That was a fun one.
I like that. Yeah. So that's it. That's our first podcast back after 6 months.
We about to do a weekly,
and
baby.
We back.
All 50 of y'all. Shout out. Y'all the first 50. Y'all the early 50.
All right, y'all.
You don't want to say nothing to the 50?
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much.
I'm ready to go to bed.
If you made it this far, hey, this high five is for you. Yeah, let's high five each other. That was for you. You're the audience. And just want to give thanks to y'all joining us, being patient on the hiatus.
Peace and hair grease.
Peace and hair grease.
Take care of yourselves. Do something luxurious because you deserve it.
Something luxurious.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
We're from Indiana.
We're from Indiana. I'm from Indiana too.